そうだね。ここいいかな。
My name is Janelle Mendoza, and I am the director of the first show that you'll be seeing tonight, Arabian Nights.
My name is Dr. Gomeki, and I'm the director of the second show you'll be watching tonight, Drawing in the Dark. We have three lovely plays for you tonight, Arabian Nights, Drawing in the Dark, and the second unit, Hamlet, which is directed by the wonderful Mr. Ed Gilmore.
All right, and so just before we get started, some last-minute reminders to anyone to please turn off all cell phones, all portable devices. If anyone's worried about recording things, we've got ASIJ TV here recording this and all of our other performances. And just so you know, the schedule for tonight is to have our first two shows, followed by a brief intermission during which you can get some refreshments from our lovely friends of the Fine Arts. After which we'll have our third show, and then we will be done with plenty of time for any bus riders to get on the bus if that's what you need to do. So, without any further ado, enjoy the show.
In the world, all the wonders of the kingdom for nothing, nothing, I will interpret for you.
Hello.
Hail, fair maid, says he.
Good morning.
All praise to the highest, says she.
Do you speak any English?
Do you speak any English?
Yes, I speak some English.
Indeed, sir, I can stammer out a broken song of pitiful, insufficient words.
Aha.
Aha!
Well,
A deep hole in the ground. The organ of vision.
Listen.
Do you hear something?
I'm sorry to rush in so late like this.
No, please.
No, please.
But you see...
But you see.
Darn.
How swiftly flow the sands of time.
Look, I know this sounds crazy.
I know this sounds crazy.
I only have about 10 minutes.
Soon the golden orb of heaven will cleave the house of the hedgehog.
I have to catch a plane.
I must clamber upon the flying corporate carpet and flap away from your kingdom.
Anyways, I want to find...
Anyways, I want to find...
Yes?
Yes?
I guess you'd call it...
Something unparalleled. Something sublime.
A souvenir.
A souvenir.
Something to take with me.
A treasure.
Any particular kind of thing?
Can the funicular hide the spring?
Excuse me?
Accuse me?
How much do you want to spend?
How much do you want to spend?
It doesn't matter.
Let's haggle. I'm loaded.
Is this for yourself?
Have you a mistress? A wife? A harem?
No, this is for me.
Alas, a lad, alone in the world am I.
Well,
A deep hole in the ground.
I think I can help you.
Solitary sir, the maiden says. I look into your eyes and I see your soul shining there like a golden carp in an azure pool.
Really?
Really, now in this brief moment, in the midst of this mirage called life, here on this tiny square of soil on the whirling earth, I feel the two of us joined by a crystal thread, your soul to my soul to yours.
You do?
You do?
I do.
She does.
You know, I've been up and down this street every day.
Day and night I've walked the bazaar,
I sure wish I'd seen this place sooner.
only so that I might see you.
I've noticed you walking by.
How I have pined for you to enter as you passed.
You did?
She did. She asked your name.
My name is Norman.
My name is Sinbad.
I'm here on some business.
I'm the merchant son of a great prince, exiled from my land.
Is that so?
Her name is that so?
People call me Flora.
But people call me Flora.
With an F.
With an F.
I...
The Organovision.
Darn it!
Darn it!
You know, Flora,
You know, Flora,
you shop and you shop,
we live our brief lives.
and you never seem to find that special thing you're shopping for.
Each day awaiting the dawn that will bring us purpose, bring us happiness.
That's so true.
That's so true.
Maybe what I'm looking for is right here.
Perhaps my dawn has come.
I thought I heard my father.
My father may be listening.
It's almost time for his
If
tea.
he sees me talking to you, he'll cut your throat. Maybe I should be going.
No,
No.
you don't bother us.
Have mercy, good sir.
I do have a plane to catch.
Take my suitcase.
There's plenty of time.
Keep your voice low. Shh.
I thought I heard him calling.
He's sharpening the blade. Ah!
He's watching old movies.
The old man is mad.
Anyways, I'm sure he'll have something you like.
Act as if you're buying something.
What about these things right here?
What about these things right here?
Maybe a picture frame?
Can you conceive, oh prince, how lonely my life is? It is as empty as this frame.
Or stone?
It is as hard and as cheap as this stone.
I have more in the back.
It keeps me locked in a tiny cell.
No! No!
Stay with me.
Maybe
What I long for
a golden ring.
is love, golden love.
If not a ring, maybe a figurine.
But my father has betrothed me to a man as ugly as this frog.
Interested?
Would you marry this?
Not really.
Not really.
Oh. I don't know what else I can show you.
I have nothing, sir. Nothing. Nine. Nine. Zero. Nada. Nothing. Zilch. Focus.
My God, you're beautiful.
My God, you're beautiful.
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I don't usually say things like that.
I know I sound like a jerk.
Sometimes it's something so simple.
So complicated are the ways of
You
kismet.
walk into a shop
I look at you,
and suddenly everything's different somehow.
and my heart flutters inside of me like the leaf of the perfumed gum tree at the scented bounce of bedspring.
Really?
Really?
Now, in this brief moment,
Now, in this brief moment,
on this tiny patch of ground, on the whirling earth,
in the midst of this mirage called life,
I feel us joined by a crystal thread. Your soul to my soul to yours.
etc., etc., etc.
You do?
You do?
I
The Organovision.
do.
He does.
How can I leave now that I've seen you, met you, heard you?
How can I get on a plane?
Now that fate has brought me to this bazaar.
It's so bizarre, but fate has decreed that we must part.
Oh, cruel fate! How swiftly flow the sands of time!
What beans?
The stars have decreed that we must part.
Look, I really gotta go.
But I will return, oh my florid queen!
Maybe I'll pass this way again sometime.
I will wait for you, my Norman prince.
Is that so?
It is so. I will be yours, and you will be mine, and we will be
Each other!
Each other's!
each other's.
Maybe I'll have something you like.
Well,
A deep hole in the ground.
Well,
With purest water at the bottom.
so long.
So long.
so long.
So long. So long, so long, so long.
Open sesame!
couldn't stand that silence for one more minute. You must know how it is, how it can get sometimes.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Please don't do that. I apologize for causing a disturbance. I've had a really, really hard day. Hard night too. And I lost control of myself for a moment. Would you please let me stay?
One more problem, and you're out of here. I mean it. Don't make me regret my kindness.
What kind of night? Or day? You seem confused about that point.
What?
Weren't you just complaining how really, really hard of a time you've had? So hard that you were compelled to scream in the middle of a silent diner like an absolute lunatic? And make our poor waitress over there have to threaten to throw you out? Tell me about it.
Well, my girlfriend of 9 years.
9 years. That's a long time for someone as young as you are. Why, you two must have started dating in high school.
Yes. Well, that's why what has happened has completely floored me. Anyways, to say it simply, I came home today and she said she needed to talk to me.
A long time. What an easy thing to say. Look, kid, if you're trying to think that your relationship should last forever because it's gone on for such a long time, you know nothing about the nature of things. You could say a lot of things should be infinite, indestructible by that state of mind. All the buildings of a city or all the empires you learned in your little high school history class with, I'm assuming now your ex-girlfriend. But earthquakes and warfare still exist, and they've been here for a long time too. But all that is inconsequential. Petty philosophy. There is more at stake tonight. Well, if I were to stick with the plan, I would wait another minute before I started to explain. But now that you've got us all talking,
I would like to get back to my reading if you don't mind.
no, you can't do that. Both of you need to listen to what I say very carefully because the world is going to end in 5 minutes and 24 seconds.
Sorry, what did you just say?
You really are slow. I said the world is going to end. And hold your skepticism because I know you may not believe me now, but I can prove it. I have the numbers right in front of me.
For a second, I thought I was marking myself as the crazy one here.
Explain then. If you're right, we only have 5 minutes to spare.
Are you serious? When a stranger tells you that the apocalypse is coming, you listen?
You'll see, it's a calculation. One that I've been working on for 2 years. A single algorithm that incorporates Kabbalah, quantum physics, and a traditional Mongolian calendar proved beyond a shadow of a doubt. In November 16, 2015, at 3:41 a.m., the world is going to end. First, a wave that comes from the sky like the ocean has turned in us. Then, a rupturing of the ground as we find ourselves acquainted with the great core of our planet. Fire and metal that we speculate so much about. The place that, according to the poet Dante, is said to be Lucifer, cut in two, buried in ice. But it is not so. I know that. I am not superstitious. After we descend beneath, the final stage occurs. The air loses oxygen and becomes pure acid. We will be gone within moments. And all that long time you love so much will mean nothing.
I was right. You're a by-the-numbers lunatic then. You really think that New York City will be underwater in 5 minutes?
4.5.
You've been working on this for a while, I suppose. An interesting theory, though I must say I doubt that it's true. Many of those in my profession like to think that the people of the past are wiser than us. That if we can understand some book of numerology from before the Common Era, we can understand the secrets to life, death, love, and magic. For me, I think in every single epoch, people are just as scared of such things, and just as unable to find any point of rationality or purpose, whether they may search for it or fabricate it. Oh, but do go on. Please do. I love people who are terrified. It's the most interesting thing that exists.
Your profession?
I read tarot cards and palm lines above a Chinese restaurant in Tribeca. A psychic, or witch for hire, if you will. What else is there to do?
Great. A psychic and a madman here is my only company as my world falls apart. I should never have screamed. God, I couldn't control myself. I've always been able to control myself. She's made such a mess of me.
Are we really gonna feel the nice getting to know you questions at a time like this? Or complain about some girl? I feel like neither of you are really listening to me. Look, I know I may sound crazy, may sound like one of those people peddling tin hats or Bibles or spirit guides in the middle of Times Square, but there's credence to this. If you only knew what a respected person I am in my field. Really, I have a blog. The Chrysis Theory? 5 million subscribers as of a few weeks ago. Huge forums. People talking about this every day. Buying my book. I wrote a book. You know what the full algorithm printed and explained? You can buy it at Barnes & Nobles for a month before they took it down. It's on Amazon though, and Etsy. I would ask you to buy it, but it's too late now. You must see that it's too late. I've been invited on podcasts, web series, interviewed by up of a dozen people. People believe me. Right now, because of my words, there are people preparing for the end of the world.
But you're here, living what you think will be your last moments on this earth with absolute strangers who don't believe you, instead of your 5 million adoring fans. Why?
Well, it's simple, really. What fun would it be to be around the believers? It's like what you said, witch for hire. Terror is the most interesting thing to witness. And witness I will. The fun, the reason why I chose to watch the validation my theory from a subpar diner on West 12th Street is that I get to see both your faces as it happens.
That's kind of sick. You want to see people's reaction to the world going down in flames? Or water, or whatever your whole thing was. Anyways, it's cruel. You want us not to believe you so that we can be punished or disproved.
Sick, cruel. Look, this is just human nature. It's not his fault he's like this. It's the gladiator complex. Or no, it's the horror-filled complex. We love to see people suffer and be surprised by that suffering while we know what's going on all along. It's a divine omniscience. It's why people go to fortune tellers.
Divine omniscience. Do you really believe that's possible? That we can fully know and anticipate suffering?
Yes, if you're creative enough.
2 minutes.
Oh God, this would be good. Shall we celebrate my soon-to-be realized success with what shall it be? I think pie would be nice. Waitress,
Yes, sir?
3 pieces of apple pie. On me. Everyone, my gift to you. Thank you for being so entertaining.
I'm not hungry.
So our sorceress has returned to her book. Of Mice and Men, I see. How nostalgic. I remember I read it in high school as most likely did she. And you, young man. And everyone else in New York. Yet she finds them more fascinating than the end of the world. The fixture of countless religions, sciences, poetry.
What are we supposed to do then? Of course it's not the end of the world, but if it were, what would anyone think to do? If it's what? 1 minute? No, 40 seconds! Someone please tell me, what would be the logical thing to do?
Go about business as usual.
To wait. And now my sweet audience of crushed romantic dreams, never to be able to be voiced without interruption, of superstition unsupported by algorithms. Wait we shall. I must have done something wrong. It was the month of the dew, not the harvest. Or no, it could have been serious, miscalculated when it would pass over. Or focused too much on the orbit of Vega. I must return to numbers. If I just altered that last sequence, maybe another line, that would make sense. What if it...
So the planet lives to see another day.
For a second, I really believed him.
If I'm being honest, so did I. For a second.
It's just... God, for that split moment in time, I actually let myself consider it. What if this day were the last I spent on Earth? And what I found in that moment scared me because I only thought it wasn't fear or anguish. It was just this total acceptance. Even if he had been right, it wouldn't have mattered. Because my world already ended today.
That girl you mentioned earlier. Tell me what happened. The least I can do is listen to you now that we have, well, all the time in the world.
I need a coffee first. We both probably do. Excuse me, ma'am? 2 coffees, 1 black and the other...
A touch of sugar.
2 coffees, draw one in the dark.
So, the girl. Well, there's not much to the story. 9 long, or not so long years, and there's not much to the story. I came home from work today, and she had packed her stuff in suitcases by the entrance. Was waiting for me with this long speech about how she needed to find herself. How we were stuck in a rut. It's not me, it's her. All the legitimate and righteous things. Then she left.
I'm sorry.
It just doesn't make any sense. At all. She didn't even give me a reason why. If she would just give me one good reason, just one, then I could get
I
over
can
her.
help you find out why, if you like. Here, I'll give you my business card. You're welcome anytime. We can do a bottomlessy ceremony. A simple procedure, really. It's done by burning a mixture of herbs and observing by the shape of the smoke. You'd be surprised by what answers you receive. Better for more complicated emotions, especially with love.
Come on. Please don't mock me. You can't seriously believe in that. That in lieu of any structured dissection of human behavior, you can wave a few matches and see it all.
Oh, but there you go. There's your answer. Or at least part of it.
What do you mean?
Why a girl might have done what she did. People go to fortune tellers for one simple reason, young man. And it's to put something in this overly structured world up to pure fate. 2, for a moment, believe in all the magic we gave up far too early in our childhoods. Why, a few months ago, a girl had me read her cards. And afterwards, she asked very bluntly if she should end her relationship. If that's what I meant by a change long time coming, or a momentary anguish that would pass over and bring growth. And when I expressed to her, I asked her the same question back. That if the messages in the cards that I expressed to her were telling her to end her relationship.
What did she say?
Well, she said it really seemed like they would. And that's what made the difference. That is why I do what I do. Any Harvard-licensed psychoanalyst at the office that smells of, what is it, lavender essential oils? Or the like. The type you pay hundreds of dollars a week to go see. They can only do as much as that. Make you aware of what you really think and want. And for me, I do it as much as you pay a relatively large fast food meal. The city owes me for that one.
But that isn't magic. That can't be what those vague messages and those cards were telling her. That's just what she wanted to hear.
Yes. However, she didn't know what she wanted to hear until then.
So you are a psychoanalyst.
It's methodical as a Rorschach test. Look, emotions come from a place that can't be pinned down to minuscule details. The organic, the unknowable. Without a respect for that, all is suffocated.
That doesn't matter now.
Maybe not.
Please tell me you see them. See why I'm here? I couldn't go back to that apartment. Be there alone, in our bed, surrounded by our blankets and nightstands, and that bookshelf from IKEA we built together. I just couldn't do it. I still can't. The worst thing that could happen happened. And I didn't predict it with numbers and figures and charts. It just came and went. And the world has ended. It's melodramatic, I know, but...
If only you knew how wrong you are to say something like that. I've had the same thing many times in my youth. I thought the world ended just about every 3rd day.
What happened to you? What was the worst thing that you could see coming, even with your, what is it, tea leaves or runes?
Oh, so quick to define me. I wasn't always a psychic. I was a child first. Stuck working at my mother's tailoring shop instead of going to classes. There were too many bills to pay and no hands could go to waste. My mother was raising me and my 3 siblings all by herself in a cramped apartment near where the old factories were. Dimly lit rooms with ceilings that leaked of dirty water. When I was 14, finished secondary school, my mother begged me to drop out and work for her full time. And I did. Of course, I would have done anything for my family, but the way I felt that day was like,
The world had ended.
just like that. And look, maybe my life did end that day. If you define living as achieving the absolute highest standard possible of all your wildest childhood dreams. And I didn't go to high school, didn't go to college, didn't get an office job or a nice clean suit dress, didn't marry, have children, didn't move out to the suburbs to a pretty white house with a garden. But I reject such definition of living. I believe that living is simply practicing the amazing human ability of resilience, of waking up every single day and continuing to breathe.
But don't you regret it? What happened that you didn't get all of those things?
Oh, of course I do. We can't be expected to rejoice at our own personal tragedies, and I don't expect you to. However, I am working to regain what I've lost. This book. Well, didn't read it in high school, as their departed friend so kindly pointed out. But I'm reading it now, and that's what matters. That's living. I come here every night and I go through all the reading lists of the New York's public city high schools.
That's amazing. Really.
It's human. Look, your world hasn't ended. Not as long as you're still here. Nothing in this universe could ever stay so stagnant, so it's bound that things will change. Change for every second, for every day, for better, for worse. All you have to do is exist.
How? What should I do right now in this moment in time?
You tell me.
What I want. What I really want is to go back to my apartment. Clear out all of the old things. Her things. Our things. But I can't do that yet. Go back there to the silence? I'm not there yet.
They'll go together. I'll talk to you about of mice and men. I've really been loving it, but there's just a few things that are just confusing. That man Steinbeck, he really loves...
Actually, if you don't mind,
Oh, of course I don't mind.
let's go exist for a bit then.
Wouldn't expect anything less.
So we'll now have a 10-minute intermission, and then after that, our final play, the 15-minute half.
Okay. For this relief, much thanks. Though I am native here and to the manor born, 'tis a custom more honored in the breach than in the observance. Well,
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. To be or not to be, that is the question. There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy. There's a divinity that shapes our ends, refute them how we will.
though this be madness, yet there is method in it. I must be cruel only to be kind, but hold as it were the mirror up to nature. A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
こら何してるのよなんで私の息子が主役じゃないのよ
The lady doth protest too much. Cat will mew, and dog will have his day. Ladies and gentlemen, the 15-minute Hamlet.
I can't be the bad for this relief. Much thanks. What? Has the thing appeared again tonight? Peace break. Look where it comes again! Ah! No, let's annoy the king! No! My heaven, that God sees king! God is here! He's there! 'Tis gone. But look. The morn and russet mantle clad walks o'er the dew of yon high eastern hill. That's in part what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet.
The yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green. Or sometimes sister, now our queen, have we taken to wife. But now my cousin Hamlet, and now my son.
A little more than kin and less than kind.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt. That it should come to this. But 2 months dead.
So loving to my mother.
Frailty, thy name is woman. Married with mine uncle, my father's brother. The funeral baked meat stood coldly furnished forth the marriage tables.
My lord, I think we saw him yesternight. The king, your father, on the tower at which we watched.
'Tis very strange.
Hard, my lord, with a countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
My father's spirit in arms, all is not well.
Would the night were come.
The king doth wake tonight and take his rouse. Though I am native here and to the manor born, it is a custom more honored in the breach than in the observance.
Look, my lord, it comes!
Angels and ministers in grace defend us! Something is rotten in the state of Denmark! Alas, poor ghost!
I
things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Hereafter I shall think meet to put an antic disposition on. The time is out of joint. O cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right.
Oh my lord, as I saw him at chamber, Lord Hamlet with his dully on embraced, no hand upon his head, pale as a shirt, and with a look so piteous. He comes before me.
Mad for thy love! I have found the very source of Hamlet's lunacy. Look, where sadly the poor wretch comes reading. What do you read, Willow?
Words, words, words.
Though this be madness, yet there is method in it.
I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
The actors are together.
We're here on play tomorrow! I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malfactions. I'll have these players play something. Like the murder of my father before mine uncle. If you but blench, I'll know my course. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Ha!
To be or not to be, that is the question.
My lord.
Get thee to a nunnery!
Love! His affections not that we tend. There's something in his soul over which his melancholy sits on a brood. He shall with speed to England.
Hallelujah! 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 Hallelujah!
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you trippingly on the tongue. Hold Estrop the mirror to nature. Madam, how like you the play? The lady doth protest too much, methinks. He poisons him in the garden for his estate. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife. The king rises! What, frighted with false fire?
If you want to play!
Lights, lights, lights! I'll take the ghost's word for £1,000.
He's going to his mother's closet. Behind the arras, I'll convey myself and hear the process.
Now, mother, what's the matter? Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended. Mother, you have my father much offended. What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help! 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 How now? A rat! Oh. Dead for a ducat. Dead. Oh me, what hast thou done? Nay, I know not.
Alas, he's mad.
I must be cruel only to be kind. Good night, mother.
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper?
Hamlet, this deed must send thee hence. Therefore prepare thyself. Everything is bent for England. In England, if my love thou hold at aught, thou mayest not coldly set our sovereign process. The present death of Hamlet. Do it, England! Ah!
Where is my father?
Dead.
For him barefaced on the bar. Hey, Nonny, Nonny, hey, Nonny. And on his grave rain many a tear. Oh, ye dry up my brains. Kind sister, hast thou thy wits and didst persuade revenge? It could not move thine.
And where the offense is, let the great axe fall. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate of very warlike appointment gave us chase. In the grapple I boarded them. On the instant they got clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy!
What is he who builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
A grave maker. The houses he makes will last till doomsday. Whose was it?
This same skull, sir, was Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
Alas, poor Yorick. But soft. That is Laertes.
One ceremony else. Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring, I tell thee, churlish priest. A ministering angel shall my sister be while thou liest howling.
What? The fair Ophelia?
Whoa. Hold up there the while, till I've got her once more in my arms.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? This is I, Hamlet the Dane!
The devil take thy soul!
Away thy hand! I left Ophelia! What wilt thou do for her? The cat will mew, and the dog will have his day.
Cora Mata, Cora Radama.
There is a divinity that shapes our ends. Rough hew them how we will. But thou wouldst not think how ill all's here about my heart. 'Tis no matter. We defy augury. There is a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it is not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lord.
1.
No!
Judgment. A hit. A very palatable hit.
Stay! Give me a drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. We drink to thy health. Give him the cup. The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet. Richard, do not drink. I will, my lord.
Take him now. I am justly killed by my own treachery.
The drink. Drink. Poison. Treachery! Seek it out!
It is here, Hamlet. Hamlet, thou art slain. Lo, here I lie, never to rise again. The king's to blame.
The point in venom too?
Then venom to thy work.
Exchange forgiveness with me. No.
I follow thee. I cannot live to hear the news from England. The rest is silence.
Good night, sweet prince, and may angels sing thee to thy rest. Go, bid the soldier shoot.